Personally, I've found that one of the a personal sacrifice cost that comes with the kind of work we do is blood. You bleed a lot. Uh, you try and be careful, and things cut you, and you're just gonna bleed, and so you just have to deal with it. Myself, luckily, I didn't die from it, and it was just a thumb injury. But I've been able to use that skill with employees in the past because getting hurt is kind of part of the job, and I've had a lot of opportunity to help some people, but mostly recognize when something is serious and when it's not. So I've had a handful of employees that have been completely attached with the safety equipment, and somehow that was maybe more dangerous than if they had not had it on. I had one employee, for example, who uh, he was tied off. It was a steep roof, but he was totally tied off, and you had a dormer coming up out of the roof, and so there's a wall up on the roof, and he slipped, and the rope was holding him, so it didn't allow him to go down, but he crashed into that wall because of being tied off that way. So some of the surprising things that I've seen when you're doing roofing. So in the state of Utah, you can have 2 layers of roofing. That's it. So if you already have 2 layers of roofing on there, you must remove all the shingles, go back to the decking, and then start with a fresh layer. I have kind of mixed feelings about going an overlay over the top of the existing shingles. I don't personally see any big problem with it. I've heard lots of people say that it makes the shingles not last very long at all. I've seen the opposite many times, so not a huge convinced believer either way. But I definitely know that it makes sense for a lot of people. I remember one house that it was only one spot on the home, but it was an older home, and apparently had issues there in the past. When we removed all the shingles in that one specific spot, there were 5 layers of roofing. Uh, Nobody knew how deep that was. That is crazy. I've done a number of houses where they had 3, even 4 layers, where you're just thinking, I don't know if there's a whole lot left after we tear all this roof off. Like, who knows what's left in here? We've had some experiences with one house. I remember, for example, or not a house specifically, it was a detached garage. We went inside, and from in there, it's wide open. There's no drywall in there, so you can see up into the OSB roof decking, and it was pretty clear that it was rotten everywhere. Not just rotten, like mold everywhere. It was so dangerous for us trying to strip off that roofing because you could only stand on the trusses. If you got anywhere off, the guys kept breaking through the roof. And so they had to spend the whole time just trying to be on that, just hanging on to those trusses for dear life as we tried to strip them off. Because it's hard to pull those pieces off because you pull them off little chunks at a time. And so once they get enough off that we could put a sheet on, then they were safe for a little while. But man, that was, it was pretty obvious that all the decking would have to be replaced. I didn't realize how bad it would be though. It was quite the experience.